Hey ladies, it's your girl Truly Inspired Martin, and you're not here by chance. Nah, baby, this is on purpose because what we do here is equip and empower you to become the woman that you desire and deserve. You are here because you are ready to restore, reset, and reclaim your life and increase your emotional intelligence. That won't happen everywhere, but here we make shit happen. So let's get it. Hey ladies, it's your girl Truly Inspired Martin, and baby, we are back and better than ever every Thursday, 7 a.m. Catch us on every podcast platform. And I know you've been out here working on you. I see you, girl, doing what you do. But guess what? The journey continues. So if you are truly ready to go from BS to success, welcome back to the Recrown You podcast. Everybody wants to be, but nobody wants to do. Girl, it's time to be real, raw, and relentless. Everybody wants to be, but nobody wants to do. You know it's time. What's up, guys? It's your girl, Truly Inspired Martin, and welcome back to the Recrown You podcast, ladies. That's right. It's another week to show up not only for you, but for me. Welcome back. So to all my baddies, y'all know who y'all are. Y'all are my loyalists. Shout out to y'all for being here another week and tuning in. And I can't forget about my newbies. You guys are taking time out of your day to listen to your girl, and I love you for that. And I appreciate you being a part of the family. So don't forget to subscribe on any podcast platform. That is the Recrown You podcast. We are also on Instagram as the Recrown You podcast, and matter of fact, everywhere, Recrown You podcast. If you visit my website at www.itstrulyyinspiredmartin.com, there is a page on there for the Recrown You podcast as well. You can find all the episodes and how you can get in touch with us to be a guest on the podcast. So thank you for being here today. Can we take a minute? Can we take a minute to breathe? I know last week's episode was a little heavy. It was a bit much. But it was real. It was raw. And to be honest, since that episode, something else has happened in the same realm. So I really want to take a moment of silence for everyone that is dealing with things in life right now, right? Like for those that are just feeling the weight of life, the weight of the world. We have now lost another person that we know to suicide. So this is a very heavy topic. It's real out here. And I want you to know that you are not alone, and that you have people that are rooting for you. You have people that love you. You have people that care. And it's okay to not be okay, but it's much better for you in life to make sure that you're taking the steps to acknowledge that you're not okay, right? And we want to make sure that we post the resources again in the show notes. You will see resources to let you know that you have people, you have resources, you have things that you can connect to. And if you are listening right now, and right now is a moment where you are just not feeling like yourself, text or call 988. That is a suicide prevention hotline. They are also on deck to text you 24/7. So please know that even if you can't talk to a friend or family, there's somebody that knows nothing about you that is willing and ready and able to assist you through your crisis. So I want to make sure we're not passing over that, because that is real and that is honest. And just know that I love you. So we're going to go ahead and transition, right? And I think this episode can kind of tie to a lot of things, especially when we're talking about people feeling like they're in a rut or they're in a hole and they're dealing with different things in their life. And sometimes this comes down to feeling like you're not enough, or feeling like you're not far ahead enough, or feeling like you're not doing enough, right? So I want to really like touch on that, right? So today's episode, I am excited because I get to have what a lot of y'all that know me. Y'all know that this is like my brother, my right hand. my 100 grand. Okay. I run to him for a lot of advice, a lot of things. But for those that don't know him, you get an opportunity to really meet him in depth. And even for those that do know him, maybe there's something that you're going to learn or take away from him today. And I think that that's going to be so important, right? So today's episode, we're getting into late bloomers unite. Late bloomers unite. Think about that in a way, right? So they always talked about late bloomers, right? Y'all know that I really love to get into real definitions around this piece, right? So let's go ahead and look up that definition in real time because that's what we do, right? So let's go ahead and find out exactly what the definition for late bloomers in this world is, right? So it is a figurative term that has multiple definitions. So we're gonna use the adult definition, right? But I want us to hear what all the definitions across the board mean. So we're gonna hit each one, and then you'll understand where we're going with this, right? So a late bloomer is, as a child or adolescent, is a child or adolescent who develops more slowly than their peers, but eventually catches up and may even surpass them. Okay? As an adult, a late bloomer is an adult whose talent or genius in a particular field only appears later in life than is normal. Okay? So they gave an example. So, for example, a late bloomer might enter a romantic relationship or engage in sexual intercourse significantly later in life. I.e., the 40-year-old virgin. If y'all know the movie, y'all know it. You know. And they even have an example of a plant, right? A late bloomer is a plant that takes longer than expected to develop and flower. Ooh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good because those that are following me, these are the women that are real. They are raw. They are resilient. They are relentless, but they are resourceful. We make shit happen around here, right? So in that context, in that same breath, we understand that sometimes it doesn't always look like the way that we feel it should look. We don't always understand the path that we're on. It feels like everybody's moving in front of us, aside of us, or like, ugh. You ever been on the highway and you're on the highway, you're stuck in traffic, right? And there's a car next to you, and the car next to you just keeps inching up, and you're inching up, y'all inching back and forth, traffic, traffic, traffic. But then there's this other car that goes around that last car that speeds past you, and it's like you look up there ahead and you're like, damn, how did you get all the way up there? But then in the blink of an eye, things shift and you start driving up the side, and now you're bypassing that same person that did too much. Or now that person has crashed, because this happens, right? You see them speeding past you, doing too much. Now they've crashed, and you are just manipulating your way around the situation and going past them now because they were trying to move ahead too fast, or they were just getting ahead of you too fast, and you could not understand why you were still stuck in the same position. You couldn't understand why traffic had you so held up, but this person was able to go ahead of you so quickly. That is how sometimes we feel in life. We feel like we're stuck. We feel like we're stuck in a traffic jam. We feel like we can't get past our current situation. We feel like everybody is ahead of us and we're just not where we're supposed to be. But we're going to smash those barriers today because we're going to have a real and raw conversation with a very important person. So, without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce y'all to the one, the only, Craig Henderson. Craig, what's up?
Woo! What's going on, Dana? I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, we're so excited to have you here as well, Craig. I know that this conversation is going to take some interesting twists and turns.
It may.
Just because it's you.
Okay.
But
I'll try to focus.
Shout out to all my ADHDers.
Let's go.
We in the building together. So y'all better help us because this can get really bad. Okay. But I want Craig to go ahead and, I know you, but everybody else don't know you like that. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, what you do, and why is this topic so important to you?
Well, let me start by saying welcome, everyone, to the show. I'm glad to be here. I'm Craig Henderson, as Dana mentioned, and I am the creator and chief ambassador of IBI World. What is IBI? Well, IBI is an acronym for I Bring Ideas and Inspiration. My mission is to spark creativity, unlock potential, share some joy, and create compassionate, empowered humans. And I do that by offering after school programs in the city of Atlanta, in Cobb County. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of what IBI is. So if you want to, please check out ibiworld.com. Again, that's IBII world.com. And you can follow me on Instagram at _IBI. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Let's get it off the bat. Y'all go follow this man, okay? He gonna tell you about IBI right now. So I'm glad we got that out the way. So y'all already know that when it comes to the end of this episode, y'all already knew what you were supposed to do in the beginning. Hello? So all right, let's get into this. So we chose to talk about late bloomers today, right? So obviously this stems from a place. So we wanna get into Craig, right? So where's Craig from? What did Craig do? How did we even get to IBI? Because how? Like, how did we get here? Because this is an amazing brand. The concept is like it can speak to children and adults, right? But you don't just pop up one day and be like, "Yeah, IBI." Like, how we got here?
It happened just like that, actually.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I was born and raised there. I moved to Atlanta in around 2004.
Okay.
I went to New York City Tech. Went to Bishop Ford High School. I ran track. I was really good at track, but there was some things that I had to work on, and that was confidence. I lack a lot of confidence. I had all the love from my parents. They supported everything I did, anything I wanted. But I did lack self-confidence. But fast forward, I started working for Home Depot. Can I say Home Depot?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean,
I love Home Depot, by the way.
They can go ahead and sponsor this episode, but
we'll see what we can do. Home Depot's been great to me, I must say. It's actually catapulted IBI to where it is now.
Okay. We'll get into that.
But I don't want to get too much into that because then they could come after me for my computer.
Come after me with all.
That's where all the IBI stuff is on their personal computer, not my personal one. But I was literally sitting at the office one day in the cube, and I was just in a stuck spot. I was stagnant. I wasn't driven. I wasn't passionate about anything anymore for some reason. I wasn't focused. And the number one thing that prevents people from getting what they want is they aren't taking action. So I became stuck. And I knew that I wasn't the only one. And by the way, guys, I am an artist. I've been illustrating since I was 8, 9.
Oh, wow.
And you can also follow me at that's another plug, by the way, at JASSARTIS. All right. But anyway, I was sitting in the cube and I said to myself, as an artist, how can I illustrate my feelings? And by accident, IBI popped in my head and it was created. And that was around 2010.
Okay.
And because I got it copywritten at 2012.
Okay.
Trademark 2012. So anyway, long story short, IBI was born, and IBI basically was everything that I wasn't at the time, but I knew that I wanted it. I knew I had more to give than just sitting there cutting and pasting images onto the web. I knew that I had more to give. So IBI was born, and when you go online, you will see a character with a target for an eye, a heart for an eye, like a zipper for a stitched mouth for the mouth, and a square head. And basically those all have meanings, right? So IBI is all about focusing on your goals, loving others and what you do, talking less and taking more action,
Mm.
and thinking outside the box. That was the template that I needed uh, to, get the ball going. And I had to practice those principles each and every day to get me out of my rut. And I realized I wasn't the only one that felt this way. And it was at that point that I realized I had something. So yeah, Ibby was born in a cube. And
It's a cube,
in a
and his
cube,
head is a
a
cube.
cube. And his original name was Pixel because I was a graphic designer. It
Yeah,
was a
and
square.
everything's like the Google Pixel
Yeah.
and all that.
So I was a Pixel before Pixel.
Hello. You heard it here.
Yeah. And like I said, Ibby's acronym for I bring ideas and inspiration, which I think we all do at some point.
I love that. And your brand mission, sparking creativity, unlocking potential, sharing joy, create compassionate, empowered humans. Like, that's interesting to me how you stated that he was everything that you were not at the moment. So what does that look like? So let's we, because up in here we peel back layers, right?
Yes.
So where was Craig in that moment? What was it about Ibby that started to kind of embrace or encapsulate who you truly think you are or what you wanted to be? Like, how did we get there? Because I understand what you just said, but how did we get to a place where Ibby is embodying something that you don't even know exists yet?
Well, I didn't know. I mean, we're looking at my mission now.
Yep.
That wasn't the mission before.
Mm.
Right. So and getting to the conversation about late bloomers, where I am now is because of the journey that I took. And in that journey, I went through a lot of adversity. In that journey, I've had a lot of challenges, I had a lot of growth, a lot of setbacks. So what you're seeing now is a byproduct of all the experience that I look at now as where it is now. So at the moment, I had no clue. It was just a cool concept. Everybody loved it. They were, taking pictures with it.
Yeah.
That's where it ended. I didn't have a story behind it. And I had investors early on, but they couldn't get behind it because there was nothing connecting it. I didn't know how to tell that story. I didn't have enough experience to tell the story. So a lot of my apprehensiveness to even talk about it was because I wasn't sure what it meant and I wasn't comfortable, speaking to it. So yeah, so again, it wasn't there in the beginning. It was something that I knew I needed.
Mm-hmm.
It was something I knew how to practice, and I knew that I wasn't the only one that needed Ibby at the moment. So I knew I had something. Yeah.
So you touched on a few things, right? But my mind is going to that place of the late bloomer.
Yeah.
Who determines that we're a late bloomer?
Nobody. We do. We put so much pressure on ourselves. It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm at an age now where I can care less. I am actually at an age now where I'm comfortable being where I am. And I'm at an age now where I love the journey. I think the journey is way better than the destination because you're always growing. On top of that, I don't think that we ever have a real destination. We're always on this journey. If you want that to be a journey, I choose not to give up. I choose not to stop. I believe we are all creators. God is the creator, so therefore we are creators.
Yes.
So, yeah, the journey never stops, and I've embraced the journey. And that pressures that I once had was because I was trying to compete with something that I didn't know about. So here I am competing against John about something that I don't know his adversity. I don't know his struggles. No, but I'm competing against him.
You don't know what it took that person.
I don't know what it took him to get there. So once I realized that I have my own and I should cherish my own journey, embrace it, I realized that, you're more powerful that way. You get stronger, you have a sense of belonging, you get more confidence because you believe in what you're doing and you're trusting God and you're trusting that whatever you're doing, if it's right, it's going to lead you in the right place at the right time. So yeah, trust the journey. And, a lot of times we are in this wilderness and we can't see the light. But yet in that wilderness, we have all the tools needed and we don't see it because we didn't graduate that experience that got us there. So the longer you choose to be in this wilderness, the longer you'll be there, right?
Yeah.
But the moment you say no more, it's amazing how the universe opens up for you, and it's like the universe literally wants you to win. That's my belief.
I love that. And I've always said that if I ever feel like I have arrived, then I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
Like, I don't never want to feel like I'm at a place of arrival. Like, I enjoy the journey. I enjoy getting to different destination points, right? Like, I don't want to feel like I've arrived, because that means I'm not growing any further. That means that and if I'm around people that don't make me feel like I need to grow any further, that's also the same thing with your environment being a part of the reason why you feel like you're not doing enough, or you feel like you're around people that are not giving enough for you to flourish, right? So you can't grow on, dry ground. Like, you can't grow like that. So I want to be around people that make me feel like, okay, I'm planted here, but I can grow and grow bigger. Does that make sense?
That you made an important point right there. The people you surround yourself around, you are half that person, right? That energy. So whoever you surround yourself around, you're pretty much half of what you're the average of those 10 people, right? So you want to hang around, really high frequency people. One thing as an artist, one thing that I know that holds a lot of people back, and I actually made a post about it the other day on my on Instagram, is the planning phase. That planning phase will keep you stuck, because you'll never ever meet that perfection. It just gets better. You're not going to be perfect the next time you do it. You'll just be better at it. And I found myself in my process and my journey preparing and not doing, which held me back from a lot of opportunities. And I'll tell you one thing that I'm doing now that I was very against, which is speaking to the public about the story. This is something new for me, guys. This is probably my second podcast. And I'm telling you, because of my journey, I'm so much more comfortable now. Now, put me on the spot. That's another problem.
That's another problem.
I'm not that person. But you give me like a month to prepare.
Not a month to prepare. Sir, you either going to do it or you won't do it. Okay.
But that planning stage is something that I had to get myself out of. And luckily, I was hanging around people like you, Dana, that was always moving. I always saw someone who is a go-getter, a mover, and a shaker, and nothing held her back. There was no obstacle that she couldn't get around. So, there's a lot of inspiration there. But, there's a lot of artists that I know that say, I don't want to share my work because someone would steal it.
Woo!
I am totally against that. Your ideas were already stolen. They're out there in the universe. The universe is huge. But God gave you something that He wants you to share with the world.
Absolutely.
And if it's meant for you, I promise you it is for you. Now, don't get me wrong. We are living in a world of humans.
Right.
We're all flawed.
And you need to make sure that you copyright your work.
And you do your due
stuff.
diligence.
Exactly.
And you do your work and you protect yourself. But at the same time, I think there's favor in that. I think there's favor in doing what you're meant to do because the world needs you. And the longer you take to prepare for that person, the longer it's going to take for that person that's ready for you to get you to where you need to be. So we're all here working together, needing each other to grow. So, you just think about holding back your talents. Think about the taking 4 years to put something out. Because you're taking 4 years to do something, someone is going to put something out in 30 minutes. That is 90% worse than what you thought about.
Quick to market.
And exactly, quick to market. Yeah.
And I be telling folks that the only difference between successful people or, the person that you're looking at to the left and the right of you that's really getting it, the only difference between them and you is, one, a decision.
Yes.
And two, the audacity too.
And that is my word of the year. Audacity.
Audacity. Because, baby, I'm going to pull up.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up and I'm going to act like I belong in this room because I do. I'm gonna take up space. I'm gonna bring the table, make the table, set the table, bring the people.
Yes.
Right? Like you got to have the audacity too. And y'all know how I.
You also have to consider that growing and getting out of the wilderness, you're expecting your friends to get you there. You're expecting your friends to buy your product. You're expecting your friends to do this and that for you. Your friends are more for encouragement. The stranger is going to be the one that buys the product and sell the product. It's funny how it works. So that was another thing that I was very disappointed in my journey, was expecting my friends to do all these things for me. But they supported me in a different way.
Yeah.
I was living out of my truck, and I have a story now, right? Because now I'm closer to where I need to be because I had that story. But a lot of it had to do with my ego. I had so many friends that would have, let the bed, like, hey, you could stay as long as you want because of what I've done for them.
Yeah.
But going back to that, being stuck in that wilderness, again, I had everything that I needed, but I wasn't taking action because one, ego, two, being ashamed, and three is the confidence that I can do it. So I stayed in this space, but yet, sickly enough, I'm sitting there thinking I should be further. But not putting the work in to get there, just feeling in my head, oh, I should be there. So that's another, it's something else.
It's the accountability piece, right? So we got to take accountability for what we do or don't do in situations, and also release people of whatever thing you believe that they're supposed to do. Like literally nothing happens if nothing happens. Like that is crazy.
Yes.
But what's also interesting? So I had a coach a few years ago by the name of Kendall Ficklin. A lot of people probably know him.
Big up to Kendall Ficklin.
Yeah, big up to Kendall.
Grind Nation.
Grindation.
Grindation. I'm sorry.
Don't you ever. You call it Grind Nation. Look, I will not. I stand 10 toes on that one.
I'm sorry.
But one of the things for me, he even had a book titled after it. It was the one thing that he used to always say back when I used to go see him at Georgia State, right?
Yep.
The book he had says, your work has to match your wants. And that was actually something he said all the time. And that aligns perfectly with what you just said, like your accountability to it, right? Yes. If you say you want it as bad as you say you want it, how dare you get mad at somebody else to the left and the right that been putting in the time, been putting in the reps, been doing the work, been doing the inner work, been taking the journey. How dare you look at them and say, damn, how they get there? Baby, they've been working. Yeah. They've been putting themselves out there. They've been telling people what they do. They've been allowing their ego to jump to the back and for them to show up entirely as themselves. Right? Like I'm thinking about all of that accountability piece, right? And you said something else. I hear people always talking about I probably could have been further along if only Jim, John, and Gina would have supported me when I was blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not on nobody else. Like, you can't be mad at friends and family. They are not your target audience. They will support you off the humbug. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
they don't have the same vision.
They don't have a vision.
Yeah.
Now, support come in different ways too, right? Yes. Like, we got to understand support is definitely a verb, right?
Yes, it is.
But we got to understand the different ways that come. Send a text, post a picture, drop a couple dollars, buy an item, show up for me on this day. Give me some encouraging words, talk me off the ledge. There's so many different ways to support, but a lot of times we just look and be like, so you ain't gonna buy nothing? Where the money reside, baby?
Yeah. The CTA wasn't a great sell, right? Mm-mm. Your call to action was horrible, and a lot of times people, if you're not clear with your vision, people can't stand behind it. So
if you don't know where you're going, baby, where are you leading me?
So again, nothing happens if nothing happens. So again, it goes back to a IBII principle, which is less talk, more action, and just appreciating your uniqueness and what you offer. It's just crazy how everybody, when you're playing basketball, oh, don't you want to be like LeBron James? it's like, no, I want to be like Craig Henderson.
And do.
Why can't I be like me? And just have to do the practice, put the time in, and I could be me. So I'm not really one to be compared to. I hate being compared to someone. I embrace my uniqueness. I'm okay with it now. It took me a while, but there's strength in that, and I think more people should appreciate who they are and do the work, the self work to get there.
Child, listen. We going in over here. I hope y'all enjoying this. If so, make sure y'all leave what do you call that? A review on one of your favorite platforms, specifically Apple Podcasts. That really helps your girl out. But I want to really kind of hone in on this definition though, right? So a late bloomer as an adult. Let's tie this together.
Okay.
So a late bloomer as an adult is someone whose talent or genius in a particular field only appears later in life than is normal. They said a handful in this, right? So normal, that sounds like one of those things where you define.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take normal out of here, right? Whose talent or genius in a particular field only appears later in life in which they feel. Okay. Let's just take that. So when we're talking about IBII and we're talking about your brands and the things that you've done, where you are right now, you a little seasoned, a little salt, pepper. Okay, right.
I am.
Especially
in the beard now.
In the beard, I ain't got to tell y'all how old he is. Just go look at his bio. I'm pretty sure it's on Google or Bing or something.
It's a question mark.
How old is Craig Henderson? Question mark. He's one of those black men where the black don't crack. Peter Pan being okay. He out here looking like he's half the age he actually is, and nobody believes it. So if you know, drop it down there. Drop it down there in the chat. Right.
Can I get the secret?
What's the secret?
What's the closest distance between two people?
The closest distance between.
How do you get? How do you bring? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a smile.
I feel like. Oh, okay. I feel like you was about to make my brain hurt.
Oh, yeah, but I smile a lot.
Oh wow! So that laughter really is the best medicine.
Laughter, it works those muscles. It rejuvenates those cells in your body. I think that it's important to laugh. I think it's important to smile or find reasons to.
You seem like a really healthy kick person to me too, though. Like
I am cosmetically looking wise, yes. Inside, no. It's
okay, but you I can't deal with it. But I'm talking about like you seem to like try to do healthy things. Like
yes.
you were athletic.
I stay active. I think that's the key to stay active. Never stop.
Are you a heavy drinker?
No.
Were you ever a heavy drinker?
No, I started drinking when I was about 24.
24.
And I was a
that just told y'all something there, y'all.
Yeah.
He's not in the 20.
Not 24 anymore.
Not 24.
But when I was running clubs in New York, I was around liquor all the time, drugs, but that's not something that, I participated in.
Well, that helps too, keeping the body, keeping the temple.
Yeah.
Keeping the temple right. Okay. So he just gave y'all a little black don't crack gem. But damn, see, squirrel.
Sorry.
So a late bloomer, right? Yeah. So talent or genius in a particular field that only appears later in life. So when we're talking about all your brands, all the different things that you have done or are doing, right? Where do you feel you are right now in relation to where you believe you should have been, right? In true transparent format, we want to know, what does it really mean to be a late bloomer to you? Because from my perspective, right, I've had this conversation with you and several people. There's a lot of times I look at certain things and I'm like, I should be further along. I should have done more. I should have not, slowed back, pulled back. But I'm the one to blame in some of that, in that equation, right? Yeah. Like I didn't give it everything that I got. I didn't put myself in the same arenas that I did before. But now I'm coming back. So what's your thing?
I'm right where I need to be. I am in the right place at the right time, and I'm aware of it now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm no longer feeling like I'm a late bloomer because I've embraced that now. I've embraced that journey, and I'm learning so much more about me because I'm learning more about people. And I'm at an age now mature enough to know how people react to certain things, how I enact, how I engage. So I'm right where God just literally has me right where I want to be. And I have to embrace that and take in all the experience I can at this present moment. That's the key. Living in the present.
Mm,
If I think I should be somewhere else, I'm in the future. That hasn't happened yet.
that causes anxiety
That
too.
causes anxiety, which I've experienced.
Yeah.
I've experienced depression because I had something called situational anxiety.
Mm,
So, I'm not a planner. So I used to try to do everything all at once.
and at the drop
And
of a
then
dime.
nothing happens.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that now, what I do is I do one thing a day. In 7 days, I have 7 things done. I no longer put that pressure on me
I like
anymore.
that because now you accomplish 7 things in a week versus maybe you would
Trying to
only
do
did like one that whole week
that whole
because
week because you are doing so much. So yeah, I'm in the right place as a late bloomer. I want the listeners to understand you are right where you need to be. It's either you stay put, you get stuck in the planning area in the wilderness, or you're taking action. And I hit a point in my life where I said no more. And the moment I said no more, I didn't care about the past. I didn't care about who had money, who had nice cars. I don't care about those things. I'm literally here. I know that for a fact. Just sprinkle joy wherever I go.
I love that.
You
And,
know,
and you definitely do like a fairy.
and I don't want to be recorded. I don't care for all that. I'm doing the work that needs to be done for myself so I can help others. And I'm right where I need to be. It's nice to think about, having money. I have that.
Yeah.
I have what I need to live good. I travel. I have a beautiful fiance. You know, I cycle. I've seen the world. So
Do all the things.
yeah, and I'm living within my means, but I'm not expecting more. I have just what I need to get where I need to be. And I think it's once you appreciate that you don't need everything. I mean, it's days where I'm like, yeah, I don't know if you guys ever had a moment where you see a TV and you're like, oh, I can't wait to get that TV, and you can't get it, and you wait, then you get it, and it's like you always had it.
Yeah.
You don't even put the TV on.
No.
So I'm at a point now where I'm learning to appreciate what I have and
Live in the now.
live in the now because that's all you have. And it's I think it's very important that we all start to live in the now because we miss so much living in the future. We just miss those moments.
Oh,
So
Jesus. This feels like an Oprah episode. This is so good. This is so good. We definitely gotta get to wrapping this up because we will definitely have a part 2 at another time. But I want to wrap this up the right way, right? So the right way around here is to really drop some gems, some principles on some things. Okay, so we're gonna tie this together, right, Craig? So as a late bloomer, I want people to understand that if you feel like you're in a position of late blooming or you feel like you're in the wilderness, right? Like you feel like
mhm.
you were just out there in the middle, no longer in a position of authority, no longer in a position of authority in your own life. You feel like you're not commanding everything in your own life. Like I want you to tie together the understanding or the disconnect of being a late bloomer to the principles of IBI.
Oh,
Because I feel like that is easy peasy and it's the best way for people to be able to understand why IBI is not just for our little ones, but it's for the adults. It's for the grandmother, the sister, the brother, the cousin, right? The teacher. Like it's for anybody that feels like they are just not where they should be. How can we tie those IBI principles into that concept?
this is. I mean, it's the answer is this. Go to ibiworld.com, check it out, and look at the 4 principles. Focus on your goals. Love others in what you do. Talk less, take action. And bring creativity to every situation you're in, and that is thinking outside the box. That's it. That's as simple as I can say it. You just have to be. Another thing is you have to be present.
Mm.
Take in all that experience and use it to your benefit. You know, just always move forward. And that's all I can. That's what I can say. Just continue to move forward, and because at that point, the possibilities are endless, and you just don't compare yourself. So focus, passion, action, and thinking outside the box.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that all ties into this. I think it was I want to say it was a TikTok or Instagram or something that I seen. And I've heard this concept before in the past, but this guy was saying something along the lines of when you're in the car and you have the rear view mirror and you have your side mirrors, right? And you got your rear view, your side mirrors, and you got your, what is this called? Your front window.
Yeah,
your windshield, right? And he said, have you ever wondered why your side mirrors and your rear view mirror is the smallest, like, reflective things in your car? It's because you can only see behind you. Do you get it? So the smaller the things are behind you, you're moving away from them, so they go further away in your vision.
Wow.
But when you're driving forward, the windshield shows you a full spread picture ahead.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So all of this to me ties together with what you just said. Stay present and keep moving forward
to see that,
because you can see the bigger picture when you keep moving forward versus always looking behind you in these small mirrors trying to pick apart what is that back there? Is that a bird? Is that a plane? Is that you understanding that being present in that car, in that vehicle of life, driving forward, you'll see the bigger picture at all times.
And you're actually a bigger person.
Hello.
Drop the mic.
I love this. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today,
It's a pleasure.
And hit them again with the info. How can they connect with you? Anything new you got coming out?
Okay, guys, listen, if you have children, I have some amazing products that I'm putting out. Please go online. I have these cool cycling hats that I wear every day. It's something I've been wearing since I was 9. But I have hats, I have posters, I have bags, t-shirts coming up. Check it out, ibiworld.com, or check me out on Instagram at @the_IBI.
Yes. Thank you so much for hanging with us today, Craig. This was an amazing episode. Ladies, if you are feeling this, please let me know in the comments. Leave a review. Go to Apple Podcasts, though, because that's where I get the real reviews at. But I hope that this episode did something for you and let you know that you are not behind, baby. You are right on time. So in the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna catch y'all next time. It's your girl.
You know it's time.